Okay, so I just watched the Red Table Talk hosted by Jada Pinkett Smith, and she was interviewing T.I. or Tip, whichever name you best know him as. So, and if you're not familiar, just check out the controversy surrounding him and his daughter, and the whole virginity testing thingy. But what really shocked me in the interview was that a man of his caliber, of his education, of his exposure, of his wealth, did not know not just the definition, but the impact and influence of patriarchy in our society. And that took me back just a little bit to maybe question the males in my life who are quote unquote the people we just say, hey, that's the good guy. To wonder, have they ever taken a step back to question a system of which they are beneficiaries of? Because T.I. till this day thinks he did nothing wrong. And we need to really have a broader conversation on this and really distinguish between control and education. And I can, to some extent, give him some empathy. I can cut him some slack. Because in the Black society, there is the ailment of absent fathers, but also some philosophers argue that the concept that a child needs a father and a mother in their lives is absolutely man-made, and that's what some philosophers argue. But back to the conversation, I can empathize just a little bit with T.I. because he had intentions, and that was to be an involved father. That's where I could give him a little bit of grace, just a little bit of grace. But the fact that he still thinks that he is in the right makes me question what then is the problem, because there has been a plethora of movements, a plethora of conversations of what misogyny and patriarchy means and the detriment it continues to be in society. Patriarchy in its simplest form is a structure that was made from the perspective of men. Intention-wise, we don't know, but the outcome is completely from the perception of men. So it benefits men, it puts them in a better position in society, and so forth. So my question is, in this day and age of so much information, why is T.I. still in this mindset? And I started by saying he said bluntly he does not know what patriarchy means, the definition itself. So maybe when people hear labels, they switch off. Maybe, I mean, there is a benefit to identifying a problem, giving it a name, because for us to solve problems, we need to clearly and precisely and crystal clearly identify it. And that's what we've been doing. But clearly, some people like T.I. clearly switch off the moment you mention or he hears phrases like patriarchy, like misogyny or feminism or sexism, all the isms we have created. Well, they've been there, they were coined, but maybe labeling is not helping us because it makes people just switch off and not actually hear the crux, the depth, and the breadth of the subject matter. So maybe for just a brief moment, we should just step aside or place aside the labels and talk about these issues in the most simplest, most practical forms and ways. Because maybe then the T.I.s of the world could listen a little more attentively. Just saying.